What we do here is go back.
Welcome back to Best Pro Wrestling Commentary. This is Junior, here with Roman Pierce, here to break down the latest and greatest in the world of professional wrestling. And speaking of that, the most recent Raw episode, not so great. Most memorable moment for me would have been, of course, the Druids, Undertaker and Kane coming out, which honestly, Undertaker to me has the best entrance of all time. So, in this, to me, he can't be beat. The entrance-wise, yeah, it's awesome.
It was outstanding.
And after that, the rest of the Raw, we got to find out who the Final Four is for the championship tournament. So we're down to Owens, we're down to Reigns, Ambrose,
and Del Rio.
Del Rio, yes. Now, I would like to give special mention to Kalisto because he did upset Ryback on SmackDown. So anyone who hasn't checked out SmackDown from last week, check it out. That was an awesome match.
Check it out. Think about Kalisto. Did you see when he was wrestling Del Rio, to get that finalist spot, and then Del Rio comes and rips the mask? I don't know if that was on purpose or whatnot, but it was great television. Mm-hmm. It's great how JBL just jumped in there and he was just like, that's the ultimate disrespect for a luchador, which is true.
It's funny considering JBL had that long feud with Eddie Guerrero, so...
We lie, we cheat.
Still.
That's right. So what do you think about the finalists for the competition to try to get the World Heavyweight title? What do you think? Did they get it right?
I feel they got it right. Although Ziggler and Cesaro, I kind of would have liked to have seen them in there as well, but there's only 4, so I like Owens. And Del Rio, I think you're going to see him in the title picture for a while.
What do you think? Do you think that, obviously it's down to Reigns and Del Rio. Who do you see winning that? Do you see Del Rio taking it and going to Survivor Series, or do you think that Roman Reigns is going to go ahead and finally...
Oh no, both matches will be at Survivor Series.
Right, well, who do you think is going to win it?
I don't know. The Reigns, normally I would have said Reigns, considering the momentum he has, and he's come close, like he came close at Money in the Bank, he came close at Mania, but Del Rio, he's a surprise, obviously the surprise comeback, so I don't know, honestly, with Del Rio, he adds like a monkey wrench in the works, because anyone else I would have said Reigns is going to win the championship. But Del Rio, you never know. And
the comeback kid for sure.
And what about
what I will say is that Del Rio, what we can't expect for sure for Roman Reigns is for him to get booed. So we can always count on that.
Really, he's getting better. I don't know what you think. You're unnecessarily hard on him. Well, he's improved. His mic skills are improving.
They edited some of his. It was silent the last time he was wrestling.
Maybe you had it on mute or something.
They edited in the cheering there.
How do you know? Do you have proof of this, or?
Yes, I have proof of it. Because I saw the live Raw, and then I also saw it on Hulu Plus. So there was a difference there. When they add cheering, you can tell.
I'd have to see more sources.
The universe is not a fool.
No, they're not. But I think Reigns is improving. He's been gradually improving. Now he doesn't have the mic skills Ambrose, and you also have to. Speaking of Ambrose, if it comes down to Ambrose and Reigns, because Ambrose is going to fight Owens, that's going to be an awesome match. Because Kevin Owens is an awesome wrestler. I wouldn't be surprised if Owens won the match, but I'm going to predict it's going to come down to Reigns versus Ambrose. And you have to throw in the possibility of a swerve, whether Reigns turns heel or Ambrose turns heel.
Well, that's what it seems like. I think if it does come down to Reigns, Andy, and Ambrose...
One of them is going to turn heel?
Absolutely. One of them is going to turn heel. It makes more sense for...
Who would you suspect will turn heel?
Roman Reigns, and I'll tell you why. Because he's had such of a lackluster push, not, kind of partly his fault, WWE, we already spoke about that, but the fact that the crowd is not necessarily 100% behind him, I think it'd be better for him to turn heel, because people love heels. They love to hate heels. And then when a heel turns back face, they get on the bandwagon even faster.
Well, look at New Day. They started out trying to be good guys, and they got booed out of the building, and then they just embraced the boos, and look at them now.
Embrace the boos. So that's where you see it coming down to Reigns and Ambrose?
If I was to predict, yeah. It's Reigns and Ambrose. Although I'm possibility of a swerve, either one of them two turning heel. I think you're looking at a very high possibility of that.
So moving on to the Divas contract signings. Paige and Charlotte. Woo!
Cringeworthy.
What do you think about the storyline? Them talking about Reed, the late Reed, obviously the younger brother of Charlotte. They're saying there on the internet that Ric Flair was unaware of the storyline, that he saw it watching on TV on his own, brought tears to his eyes. Do you feel there's some disgust there? Do you think Charlotte knew? What's your take on that?
Well, the WWE has set a precedence before with using dead wrestlers or dead people as part of a storyline. Like if you remember when CM Punk fought Undertaker, Paul Bearer had recently died, and they used that. They got permission from Paul Bearer's sons to
That's true.
use him as a storyline.
Yeah, that's true.
Eddie Guerrero.
Paul Bearer was also a character in the WWE. Reed wasn't. He was a person outside
True.
the WWE universe.
But I'm just saying that it's been done before,
It's
like
been
mentioning dead people. Eddie Guerrero, like when Rey Mysterio won the Rumble in 06 and was making his climb to the championship.
Absolutely.
I think Randy Orton made the comment Eddie's in hell or something like that.
Right.
So I mean, using of dead people. But you're right. Reed wasn't around. Getting him confused with David Flair.
Well, and that's the situation. I think is the controversy also is behind. Did Ric Flair know? Did Charlotte know? Now Ric Flair made a statement, and he did say something along the lines that he believes that Triple H and Michael Hayes and Stephanie McMahon have Charlotte's back. But at the end of the day, it's not like she could say no. So what does that mean? What's the demeanor there?
That makes you wonder, was it planned, or did Charlotte say that to add to the storyline that motivated her to wrestle, or she's doing it for Reed? Reed, I apologize. 'Cause I keep thinking of David Flair, who was in WCW for so long. So
and see, that's the thing. Maybe it's just one huge storyline. Maybe they're trying to grab the coattails there with the Ronda Rousey and Beth Correa. Obviously, as we know, Beth Correa talked about her late father and his suicide, and maybe they're pinging on that. Do you think maybe they're trying to pinge on the current UFC or former UFC champion getting knocked out in the women's division? Do you see them riding that coattail?
Yeah, but that would have been that was a while back, so this would be late to try to ride that coattail. I don't know. It's just, but like I hate to say this because Charlotte's an awesome wrestler. I see a bright future for her in the women's division. God, she's gonna have to learn some mic skills because her delivery was horrible. I mean,
Absolutely
honestly,
horrible.
I was cringing. And if you're watching this, Charlotte, I'm sorry, but you need to learn some mic skills. Yes, your dad's one of the greatest on the mic, but yeah, you need to practice. Maybe you get some points from him.
And the thing is that you didn't know who to root for. You had Paige, who had tears in her eyes. You had Charlotte, who had tears in her eyes. When Charlotte comes after Paige, Paige just takes off running. She doesn't throw any blows. It's almost like I really didn't want to say that. So it just kind of feels like they were forced to do that storyline.
And Paige, I think, is better on the mic. I like Paige's. Actually, I think Paige is a better heel, to be honest. I don't know. To me, she sounds more authentic when she's running someone down or when she's antagonizing the crowd.
Well, we'll see what happens at Survivor Series. What's your take on who's going to win it? Do you think Paige's going to take it or Charlotte's going to retain?
I think, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me to see Paige take it by some underhanded method.
It would make her a bigger heel, but my money is, even though I don't want to admit it, I think Charlotte's going to keep it. So let's move on to the UFC. Obviously, the Ronda Rousey controversy with her being knocked out first time ever. How do you see Holly Holmes holding up? Do you think that Rousey's going to come back, maybe do WrestleMania and then fight her in the UFC 200 pay-per-view, or do you think that's it for her?
Oh, I don't think that's it for her. And I mean, it's not controversial. I mean, she cleanly lost. I mean, I don't think she. And I don't know why she went after her like a boxer. I wish she would have stuck to what her strengths are. But
judo specialist.
Exactly. And I mean, because like I said, I mean, as a WWE fan, I hope she's at WrestleMania because I know she would love to do something at Mania, but we don't know. I mean, I heard on the radio that WWE can't market her like they would have as champion. Maybe not, but she'd still be a draw.
Well, what do you think? Do you think that kills her? Her killer instincts when it comes to being in WWE? Do you think it would draw any buys?
Look at Mike Tyson. He's still considered the baddest man on the planet. He lost to Holyfield. He lost to Buster Douglas. A fluke loss, by the way. I mean, he lost to Lennox Lewis. So I mean, people still respect Tyson, baddest man on the planet. I mean,
and like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until they got punched in the face.
Exactly. So I mean, I would say Mayweather, but I mean, he's never lost. Although we could get in on about his opponents, but that's the shoulder man.
The shoulder man.
Or Mr. Scorecard.
And speaking of Mayweather, as everybody knows, he actually came into the defense of Rousey, said that everybody learned and that she'll be back. Some people took that like he was knocking her down, but it really sounded like he showed a lot of humility and like generally sincerely cared about her situation. And you know what? Maybe because he's in the limelight as a fighter himself, maybe he understands what she's going through. But what's your take on? He even offered her boxing training.
I like that. I mean, I think that's gracious of him. I like that he did that. But even taking it out of sports, I mean, everyone, and it's always easy to laugh at somebody or make fun of someone when they're down. I mean, just like if you're not in sports, I mean, you can, in life, we all have our setbacks. We all, like, maybe you get laid off from a job, you get fired. Okay, it's easy to come at you and laugh at somebody when they're down because you're jealous because they've been up for so long that you couldn't really say anything to them, and now that they're down, you want to laugh at them and make hope on, like Misha Tate talking trash about Ronda Rousey.
And she has nothing to talk about when she's lost to Rousey.
I was like,
twice.
You lost to her twice, so you can't really talk that much trash.
Oh, you didn't know?
Better call somebody.
And so, as we all know, Billy Gunn was terminated from the WWE because he popped for a heavyweight competition, which was outside of the WWE. What's your take on that? Do you think that was fair?
It is a business, and like after the Hogan controversy, I'm sure they're trying to avoid any bad publicity. I think he'll be back in the future. Just give it a couple months. Although honestly, I think that warranted a suspension, but I think the same for Hogan. A 3-month suspension would have been warranted for Hogan. 3-month suspension for Billy Gunn. I don't know why you're firing the people.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see who gets buried next. As for Best Pro Wrestling Commentary, I am Roman Pierce, and he is LaRoche Smith Jr. We'll see you
after Survivor Series. Good night.